The seaplane's pontoons kiss the lagoon and chatter to a stop, and for a breath the Maldives looks like a trick. Glass water, white ribs of sand, bungalows stilted above blue so clear it seems weightless. Nora presses her palm to the window until Aaron nudges her and mouths, "We made it." They haven't been making anything lately. Not dinner, not amends. This trip is her idea, paid for with refunded wedding deposits and the feeling that if they don't leave their lives for a week, their lives will leave them. A bellboy guides them along the pier. Planks creak softly, and the water below flexes. Their bungalow is the last on the line, a small house hanging over a private square of sea. Inside, a bed with a view of horizon, pale curtains, a glass panel set flush into the floor. Beneath the glass a parrotfish flashes by and is gone. Aaron laughs, relieved, the sound of a man who wants a normal week. They drop their bags and swear off phones. They open the sliding doors and let the wind and brine fill the room. At dusk they snorkel off the ladder, feet scissoring, the resort falling away to quiet. Nora follows a ridge of coral and turns to find Aaron farther out, angling his GoPro at the dusk-charged water. She waves him back. He waves her on. She watches his silhouette suspend over a darker seam and thinks of a map, edges drowned by blue ink. They eat on the deck, grilled reef fish, rice that tastes like flowers. Lightning stitches the far horizon. Staff say it will skirt them. After midnight, a small sound wakes Nora. 3 careful knocks from below, wood answering wood. She sits up, heart accelerating, and leans over the glass. The lagoon is ink. The knocks happen again, spaced like courtesy. She puts her palm on the panel. The wood hums. Aaron says it's thermal change, timber talking. She nods and knows he's trying to be kind. Dawn sifts in. On the deck, a set of wet footprints climbing from the sea to their door. Bare, narrow, heel to toe. The prints evaporate while they stare. The manager apologizes by smiling. Young boys from staff sometimes fish at night, he suggests. A housekeeper, older, shakes her head so slightly Nora thinks she imagines it. They book a local guide for a channel drift. He talks as they fin along the current, voice tinny through the snorkel. This pass flooded a village 2 generations ago, he says, pointing toward the deep cut. Before tourists. Women used to cross here with baskets. The sea took the path back. Nora looks down. In the trench, a pale length of fabric lifts and settles like breath. Aaron thumbs the GoPro on and off, as if recording could pin water to fact. That evening the wind freshens and the bungalow takes on a ship's motion. Nora keeps hearing the knock under other sounds, the AC, the soft slap of wavelets. 3 beats, patient as someone waiting for an answer. When the first fat drops land, Aaron latches the doors. Through the glass panel, the color of the lagoon goes from postcard to bruise. Something interrupts the bruise, a roundness rising, hair veiling a face like sea grass. Lips part as if shaping a word. Nora's shout collapses the image into ripples. The power flickers and holds. They lie in the dark, not touching, listening to would speak to water until sleep has the mercy to take only one of them. Nora counts to 3, then swallows the unanswered knock. Morning reveals the lagoon bright, scrubbed by wind. Staff in rain jackets walk the pier testing joints with mallets, the sound carrying like distant drums. The manager stops by with spark credits and an apology about overnight swells. Aaron accepts, because accepting is easier than saying he saw a face below their floor open its mouth. Nora pockets the key card and the apology and says they'll be fine. They aren't. When she sits, the bungalow leans toward the channel. When she stands, it leans back. She wants ground that doesn't shift. They take the inter-island launch to the main island for a beach with sand under it. Children build walls against the tide, then laugh when the tide is a better engineer. An older woman traces 3 lines in the wet surface and lays flower heads over them. Nora asks the guide what it means. "We ask the past to remember," he says, "not to keep." Aaron scrolls his GoPro clips while they eat banana roshi under a palm. In one frame, amid specks and lens smears, the channel's lip shows a whiteness that refuses to be glare. It has the shape of a face without agreement, eyes as suggestion, a mouth as a line in water. He closes the video. He deletes it. Later she finds it in the trash, restored. By late afternoon, clouds heap into a single lid. The resort pushes messages about staying off the pier after dark. Routine monsoon, the app chirps. Back in their stilted room, the wind presses the door like a curious hand. The first knock comes as Nora sets down 2 glasses, 3 taped beats, clear as knuckles. She whispers, "Don't," but can't say for whom she means it. Aaron kneels over the glass. The lagoon is a slate that keeps revising. A pale oval slides under, steadies, shifts nearer. He raises the camera, and the oval resolves by refusing to. Hair threads, lips that look blue even through a skin of water, a gaze with the decency of the unfocused. The camera glitches, the lights dim, the AC coughs and gives up. The knock repeats, as courteous as ever, as if none of them has learned anything. "Please," Nora says, to the floor. "We can't help you." Rain drives sideways. Headlamps slide along the pier like wisps. Somewhere, alarm bells cut in and out. A voice carries in Divahai, sharp and practical. The manager calls each bungalow with a plan. "Stay in the restaurant." "Structural assessment," he says, already moving on. They take the flashlight and run the planks, boards shuddering under their weight. At the midpoint, Nora looks down. Between the posts, the channel is wild, scissoring white. Then, for an instant, something stands where no one can stand. They make the restaurant as rain peels sideways. The generator catches, yellow light pools on tile. Staff count guests and recount. A bungalow is gone. The sea is working on more. From the window Nora watches their end of the pier flex, complain. The last thing she sees before wind takes visibility to 0 is their door rocking open on its latch. Morning gives nothing back. The 4 bungalows, including theirs, have vanished like missing steps in memory. A circle of foam outlines where their bed would have been. The manager says unprecedented again. The housekeeper leaves a folded palm boat by Nora's plate. "For the pass," she says. "Ask it to let go." They move Nora and Aaron to a garden villa on the main island, a rectangle of white walls and hibiscus where the floor does not float. The relief is strangled by what is missing. Passports, clothes, the GoPro charger, the sense that the sea is a boundary rather than a participant. Insurance numbers bloom like algae across their screens. The manager says the resort will assist. The housekeeper slips Nora a second palm boat and repeats, "Ask it to let go." Aaron refuses the boat. He pulls the last charge from the GoPro and edits in the dim with his laptop plugged into a generator tap. Nora, unable to sleep, walks the shore. The beach holds the night's gifts: rope, a sandal, a wet sleeve of net, 3 coconuts bruised by travel. In the shallow runnels between bars of sand, she sees what looks like hair. It is stringy sea grass, of course. She whispers thanks anyway and feels foolish. In the morning, officials arrive in pressed shirts. They say erosion, scour, loosened pylons, a pattern seen before when channels focus energy. They say the storm will be written as an event. They do not ask about knocking. Nora does not volunteer it. Whenever she looks toward where the pier used to be, she hears the courtesy of those 3 beats, phrased like a request that will never be answered correctly. Erin plays a cut for her after lunch. "Just to show you there's nothing there," he says, the lie offering her a handrail. The clip opens on the channel trench, murk and scatter, then the soft white of sand beyond the ledge. A shape organizes at the edge of the frame. It resembles a torn dress snagged on invisible teeth. It lifts and looks back. The face is not detailed enough to be a person and not vague enough to be dismissed. Nora feels her scalp tighten. Erin stops the video on a frame where the mouth looks almost like it is forming a number. "Light and pareidolia," he says without meeting her eyes. He deletes the file again, empties the trash for ceremony, and then stares at the emptiness he has made. That night Nora wakes to find him at the sink, running the faucet until steam curls. The drain stopper is in. A bowl sits over it like a lid. "If there is a way," he says, "it won't be this." She doesn't ask what this is. His hands shake. On their last afternoon the rain steps away and leaves a copper light that makes even wreckage look curated. They walk the public pier because it is unavoidable and because ritual requires objects. Erin takes 3 steps onto the boards and stops. Beneath, the water is a green mouth. "We're done," he says, voice too bright. "We'll go home, write affidavits, joke about paying for a room that sank." He is convincing her and auditioning for himself. That night they do not touch. When Nora sleeps, she dreams of a ceiling made of water. In the dream, the knocks travel down through it like a polite neighbor asking for salt. She wakes to jared silence. Erin is not beside her. The bathroom is empty, the sink dry, the bowl stacked back in the cupboard as if nothing in the world has weight. The door is unlatched. Outside, the sea performing calm with a professional's poise, and on the sand, 3 wet footprints leading to the public pier and ending where the water begins. The wind holds its breath, listening. They fly home on a plane that keeps to clear air. The ocean slides away like folded steel. Nora watches until clouds erase it. Erin doesn't watch anything. A cup of water lands on his tray. He leaves it untouched. Their apartment faces a brown river that never forgets. Winter leans against the glass. For a week they practice normal, errands and jokes. At night Erin gets up and runs the shower until steam thickens. Nora leaves a towel over the sink drain. On a Tuesday she returns to an open door and damp air. Erin's jacket is on the chair. His phone sits spidered on the counter. The last photo points straight down at the river, her reflection bowed and a white smear that could be glare or cloth. Police say current and undertow. Nothing changes. At dusk a padded envelope slides under the door without postmarks. Inside, a small plastic bottle half full of seawater, marked in black pen with their bungalow number, and a print on cheap paper. Night, the shape of their room listing, 2 figures pale below the floor glass, each turned toward the other as if consulting. One has Erin's outline. The second wears the suggestion of long hair. She takes the bottle to the river. The rail is cold. She unscrews the cap and pours, remembering the housekeeper's words because there is nothing else to try. "Please keep only memory," she says. The brine threads the surface and then accepts the river's rule. Pressure gathers, a noticing, not a sight. She counts to 3 and holds the 3rd beat. Below, a pale oval begins and ends, hair brushes, a mouth moves as if to attempt a name. Wind ruffles the surface and the shape unfurls. When the light steadies, the water gives back only sky. Weeks pass. Nora moves uphill, away from banks. She keeps a bowl of flowers by the sink and empties it every night. She buys earplugs because her heartbeat sometimes becomes 3 knocks. She walks bridges without stopping. When white flickers under the surface, she practices uncertainty, both glare and dress, both nothing and shape. In April, a hand-addressed envelope arrives with a thumb drive. The file is 10 minutes of black water and hiss. At 4:23, a rhythm organizes beneath the noise. 3 soft knocks, pause, 3 more. The sound travels through speakers, desk, and bones of the building. She closes the laptop and rests her palm on the wood. That night she takes the last palm boat from the drawer and sets it on the windowsill. Wind touches the woven hull. She runs the tap, then closes it and waits. Silence holds. She waits longer. Still nothing. She laughs once, too loud, and feels heat behind her eyes. If there is an explanation, it will be true and incomplete. If there is not, it will be the same. She goes to bed with a bowl full of flowers. In a dream she stands on the old pier and listens to the sea knock on a door that no longer exists. In the morning there is only light and the hum of the fridge. She makes tea and drinks it. On the second bridge that day, something pale gathers beneath the surface and ripples out. She does not stop or name it. She counts to 3 in her head and keeps walking, as if the answer could be movement rather than understanding, as if letting go and remembering ask the same hand. She breathes, counts to 3 again, and lets the river carry the rest away. For now.